Representative Ilhan Omar will be facing several Republican challengers in her next election. So currently, right now, you have Republicans that are campaigning in a primary election. So now, one of those Republican challengers in a primary seems to be making the other Republicans in the race a little bit nervous. So now her name is Daniela Stella. I'm sorry, Danielle Stella. Uh, Daniela Stella kind of rolls off the tongue. Uh, Danielle Stella, sorry. Uh, Now, she is not only running against Ilhan Omar, but she's also running from law enforcement. This is an insane story. All right, so, uh, like, according to the Daily Beast, she not only is running from the law, while running for, against Ilhan Omar or against these Republicans in a primary, she seems to be raising a lot of money, which makes me wonder why she felt the need to shoplift. Allegedly, of course. Now, she's raised about $84,000 while being wanted for one count of felony shoplifting. So, look, that's disastrous, but that's not the only reason you have other Republicans that are not happy. So we'll go to her Republican opponent, candidate Lacey Johnson, one of several other Republicans in the race. Now, she says that Stella's negative headlines, as well as her apparent belief in QAnon, so craziness, could undermine the rest of the candidates by painting them all as insane. Quote, candidates are reflections of the party in a way, and it's not a good reflection of the party in a sense. It kind of felt like I was reading something from Pete Buttigieg right there, because it's a lot of words to say almost nothing. It's almost as if she's really afraid to criticize heavily this person, right? Well, I mean, it kind of reflects. I mean, but it reflects in the party, but not a good reflection. That's about as harsh as she can get. I don't know, if it were me, it'd be like, criminal. That person's straight up criminal. You're gonna vote for that? She crazy. But then again, Republican base is kind of crazy, right? Now, she also added, but now being in politics, you do learn that people do have all kinds of ways of looking at things. Milk toast, let me tell you. And I thought corporate Democrats were bad. No. Corporate Democrats are incredibly strong against progressives. Corporate Democrats are incredibly weak against Republicans. And apparently, establishment Republicans are super afraid of the insanity inside their base. So now, their concern, as I noted, is that this insane person, clearly insane, and I call her insane because she believes in QAnon. Like, that is the conspiracy theory that Donald Trump is fighting a secret cabal of Democrats in the government that is the deep state that is running giant pedophile rings. Look, man, were there powerful people in powerful positions that had some pedophilic predilections? Yeah, of course. One of them is Henry Hastert. What was it? Hastert, Dennis Hastert. Sorry, I don't know why I called him Henry for some reason. I believe it was Dennis Hastert, and then there's Jeffrey Epstein. And so, look, it's not a stretch to think that these people would be attracted to power, but to say that there's an entire cabal running secret Pizzagate-like pedophile rings in basements and all that, no, that's crazy, insanity. And again, aside from Jeffrey Epstein and the mysterious circumstances of his supposed suicide, there's not really any evidence to show that that's a thing, right? Anyway, now the reason that these Republicans are worried isn't because of the insanity, right? No, it turns out that it's more of, I'm trying to get other voters in favor of me, or to not have people turn out for Ilhan Omar, or else because, this district's hard enough to win already without crazy people making it more difficult for us. And Ilhan Omar, of course, is look, it's a very Democratic district, and so she is very likely to win anyway. And so any advantage that these Republicans are trying to get, they're going to get, right? Now, the Beast notes um, that Stella's dabbling in conspiracies had already a negative effect. Police were called to a hotel in Wisconsin after people flooded the hotel with phone calls after another YouTube conspiracy theorist. I almost said fellow because fellow YouTuber. Then I was like, wait, no, YouTube conspiracy theorists. We do not do conspiracies on the show. Um, this conspiracy theorist with 50,000 subscribers, by the way, speculated that Stella was in unspecified danger at the location. Maybe she was in danger of being arrested, but I doubt it. Okay. Now, she also got her Twitter account for the campaign suspended by sharing a rumor about Ilhan Omar being an Iranian government asset and calling for her to be tried for treason and executed, by the way. She added the executed part. Really? Really? Look, man. Okay. Where do you even start with that, right? No, she's a Somali refugee. It has nothing to do with Iran. Ridiculous. Anyway, and so look, the Republican establishment is very concerned. They're very nervous because the base eats it up. And so, like, to understand the dynamics in the Republican Party, you have to understand that most Republican politicians are generally sane people, right? And I know you might think, no, come on, dude, what really? I say most. There are some definitely notable crazy people inside of the Republican Party, but the Republican establishment, they're all just a bunch of rich people that are like, how can we help corporations? And how can we, help ourselves get money from corporations? I mean, that's generally the Republican establishment, right? But the Republican base, has gotten whipped into a froth because in order to continue voting against your own best interests when it comes to financial issues, they've had to invent crazier and crazier narratives as to why you shouldn't support Democrats. And so, hey, man, you can't support Democrats. It went from because you can't, you don't want your taxes to go up. Okay, look, that's, I guess, a reasonable argument that you can make. It's definitely not in crazy land, even if it's not necessarily true in a lot of cases. Or, oh, look, you shouldn't vote for Democrats because they're gonna make more regulations, and that's gonna negatively impact you if you're trying to start a business, for example. Okay, another reasonable argument, you could debunk it fairly easily, but at least it's an argument that you can make. It went from those arguments in the Republican Party to now the Democrat that's running against me is a literal foreign agent that is here to disrupt America and to bring Sharia law. That's the kind of crazy that's here, right? Because their policies hasn't changed. Deregulation, tax cuts, right? But the base, in order to swallow that stuff, has had to get subjected to more and more brain fuckery, basically, is all I can put it, right? And I apologize for the language, but that's what they're doing. They're basically spreading insane conspiracies about the Democrats in order to push their economic and social agenda, which is less rights for women, less rights for African Americans, minorities, and more rights for corporations and more tax cuts. That's it. That's really the goal here. So now, what Stella is she's a result of years of that ridiculous conditioning, where now she is running and she actually, I think, legitimately believes this stuff and is like, holy crap. Now she's running in order to stop that, which does not actually exist. And that is scaring the crap out of establishment Republicans who are still trying to count on bringing moderates and people that are unaffiliated in to vote for Republicans. But she can't go too far because then she'll alienate her own base. And so there's all that. Okay. But look, here's the thing. They make up all this stuff. And by the way, you look at anything, any reply to anything that Ilhan Omar says on Twitter, and believe me, it's bad. It's harassment, threats, terrible stuff, insane conspiracies, etc. But that's not even the main thing, right? She also, and I'm going back to Stella here, is facing a warrant for her arrest, which included allegedly stealing over $2,000 worth of stuff from Target. Hey, but it's Ilhan Omar that's the bad person. Insane, right? And so these other Republicans are afraid that their base will vote for a criminal, insane person. I mean, look, it's reasonable to think, based on the explanation I gave you earlier, and also based on the fact that we have a criminal conspiracy theorist in the White House who doesn't care about law and order or rule of law at all. Now, Johnson said that as a candidate, anyone facing an arrest warrant would no doubt face complications while running for office. One of them being, how could you show up to a debate when you're literally running from the law? Now that's that's a good question, right? But you think this person is going to be able to hold a coherent debate without going into Pizzagate or something insane? No, of course not. But see, that helps her. Not being able to show up to a debate means she doesn't get challenged on her insane views at all. And so she can also claim that, no, it's not my fault. It's the deep state that is keeping me from debating my opponents. Therefore, you should continue to support me and vote for me. And so maybe make it so that I won't get arrested. I don't know, man. It's probably a win for her anyway. Imagine, though, if she does win her primary and then doesn't show up to a debate with Ilhan Omar. Omar's going to wipe the floor with her. She's already, the favored candidate in the district. But if the Republican voters end up putting up an insane alleged criminal, well, it's pretty much over. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.